we're always on the lookout for new things.
Definitely.
And this is definitely something at least different from not the grape itself necessarily.
Oh, I was going to say,
I've
I've had Sauvignon Blancs before.
As have I.
Oh, okay.
But not from this particular vineyard.
Oh, correct. Yeah, definitely not.
I've had Sauvignon Blancs from this region, but once again, not this particular vineyard. So,
is this something new to Trader Joe's or this area of Southern Arizona? Or?
It is. It's fairly new. We've probably had it for I don't know 2 or 3 months. So okay. Yeah, it's definitely new-ish. I had thought it might be an exclusive, but with doing a little research, we can see that it is available at other locations as well. But it is fairly new, obviously, to Trader Joe's.
All right. We have a new Sauvignon Blanc for this Give It a Shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith. And we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we're about today is the House of Mandela Thembu Tribute Sauvignon Blanc. Whew.
That is a lot.
I'm very thirsty now. Fortunately, we'll be drinking something soon.
I am glad for that as well.
But so the House of Mandela is a winery from South Africa. So this is a South African Sauvignon Blanc, and then they have like 3 different sort of like subgroups or I guess categories of their wine. Look at that, matches the picture there.
I know.
This is the Thembu Tribute is one of them. There's a lot of great information on their site that talks about how they came up with some of the names. There's a King Vusani, and I think what was it, Pluma or something? There's a couple of different categories, and this is one of them, and that's what we have.
Nice. Yeah, I'm very excited. Like I said, you mentioned a couple different ones that were options this week, and I was like, that one just really sounds interesting to try. I forgot to bring the bottle opener.
Fortunately.
Oh, thank God.
Yes. Fortunately, you are strong enough.
Thank God, I was able to just break the glass on the top with my bare. No, it's a screw cap. It's fine. That's what you'd expect out of a Sauvignon Blanc, because it doesn't matter. You're not meant to age this.
No, you're not going to age this.
Sometimes every once in a while, people are like, "Oh, screw cap on a wine." It's like, well, yes, like don't waste it.
We've had this debate and talked about this before. There are certain wines that all of the closures have value of some sort, and especially if you're going to be aging something a little bit longer, cork gives that little bit of breathability. Screw cap is doesn't provide that feature, but like you said, when something's meant to be consumed within a couple of years of coming out, that's a perfectly acceptable closure. So
I was, and this might just be my naivete. 12.7% alcohol seemed a little up there for at least to me for Sauvignon Blanc. I'm usually thinking 10-11% for some reason. So 12 and a half, almost 13. I was like, ooh,
a little bit.
I'm like, okay. But
you have my attention.
Yeah, you'd have my attention anyway. Because like I said, I don't have many, I think, Sauvignon Blancs from South Africa. So that just alone was kind of interesting. And you can, we've got a link down to the information on their website. Like I said, you can find out how this ties into Nelson Mandela himself and everything else. It's very interesting. There's a lot of very interesting story down there.
Very good stuff. And this is a 2019, so it's relatively young, but you see a lot of Sauvignon Blancs with a fairly recent vintage on them. So
no one looks for those 2008s.
Right.
I like my Sauvignon Blanc to be aged. Not really much to talk about. Color straw.
No. Yeah. Just a light yellow. Yep.
It looks like that.
It does.
Slightly less green.
Well, you tapped on that just perfectly. How did you do that?
Yeah.
You've practiced. I usually have to fumble around to try to find where, because it's just different looking at it from this particular angle.
Yeah, different angle.
But you have that. You've got it down.
I've got it down. I'm a professional. All right, aroma. That's nice. It's very delicate. Like I'm kind of getting a little like apple and like lemongrass kind of thing, because there's something that's a little grassy, but there's still a little bit of citrus in there too. So that's why that's jumped to mind.
I like the words that you've used, because I was gonna say there's a mild grassy note, and then just some sort of, to me, not a fruit that I can readily pick out.
Okay,
just something, but just a nice mild. Yeah, it's mild on the nose.
It might be a little more pear actually. Apple might be a little too strong. It might be more like pear and like lemongrass, because like pear is kind of milder. So yeah, I think I will go with that.
Okay, that was pear and lemongrass.
All right, let's see what we get in the taste then. Well, that's quite good. Alcohol does come through for me a little bit though. Kind of a little bit. There definitely is that and not in a bad way, but definitely it's there. Like it comes back through on the, as you usually say, like the retro nasal, like kind of that back push through. But I get very similar to what I got in the taste. I even get a little bit more of that grassy note, honestly, in the taste. Like there's definitely something that's like, it's not quite earthy, so it's definitely more like a fresh cut grass, or maybe slightly dry, like where it doesn't have quite all of the what you would get out of that. But and there's a little bit of citrus. Like I said, I still would stick with lemon. And
I was gonna say I get the lemon to me comes out. Yeah, not like hit you over the head, but it's there. Now I can say, okay, now I'm getting some lemon and the grassy, and it's because and I love New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs. They've got a lot of tropical. They're
those are my favorites. Yeah,
those are really good. But sometimes they can that can be a little too much. Whereas this is just kind of there's a nice balance. Yeah, you do get a little bit of the alcohol, get some of that grass, you get some of that lemon, and it's just very. And it's nice and it's easy to drink, and yet there's like something a couple of seconds after the sip that all of a sudden I was like, oh, you're kind of like, oh, this is nice and smooth, and it's and then there's like a little pop of that flavor, I think. And maybe that's riding on the alcohol there or something. I don't know what that is, but there's, a little burst of something else that comes in a little bit later.
Could be the alcohol kind of wakening up the palate almost a little bit there, but it's actually kind of surprisingly complex for a Sauvignon. Like to me, like I said, again, it's not like the most complex thing I've ever had, but to have even, 3-ish notes, like that's pretty good for me. Like, especially for, I don't think we mentioned, what is the price on this?
$6.99.
So, like I said, especially for that price, like this is, I think is very good, honestly.
Yeah. It's actually kind of now, after a couple of sips, it's making my mouth actually water. It's coming back around. So that's...
Yeah, there's even a little tartness to it as well because of that lemon. There's like, it's not like a pucker in any way, but there's definitely a little bit, all of those things awakening the senses for probably some good food, I would think.
It's funny. I was just about to say, we haven't talked about stuff like this in a while. What would you pair this with? What are you having this with?
Chicken lo mein.
That would be very good. Yeah, this would be good with some.
Because you kind of have some of the greasiness and stuff like that of the noodles.
Yes.
Like I said, obviously I like a chicken, but you could go beef or something like that. But those noodles in particular made me think of that kind of thicker egg noodle.
Yeah.
With that and that broth that's usually on there just made me think, oh my God, some of the tartness and the alcohol will cut through that and just even accentuate some more of like what usually you can get in some of those sauces. That would definitely be one of my first thoughts.
Not anything spicy necessarily, but something with, like you said, like the fat and or that oily content and some flavor. That would, that would be quite good.
Do you have something that came to mind?
No, it was not. It was just funny. It was one of those things where I was, all that stuff was going on in there. I thought, what would we pair this with? And we used to talk about that quite a bit, actually.
We did, yeah.
And we've kind of gotten away from that, but it's weird that our minds were kind of going to that. You mentioned it, and I was going to ask you that. What would you pair this with? So,
and definitely, obviously,
pretty versatile.
Yeah, definitely the classic, cheeses and some different fruits and things like that. I think this actually would be better. Like, usually like I don't think I'd want to have this with other fruits and things because there's already so much kind of tart and acid and a little bit of sweet in this. Like definitely to me, it'd be more the cheeses, the earthier cheeses.
Cheese
and then
tray.
like I said, something a little more fatty. Like maybe you could even have like a charcuterie platter or something like with this if you're doing some different, meats and things like that where you had a little bit of spice, but not too much. Yeah.
A little bit of goat cheese would be good with this.
Oh God,
Sauvignon Blanc is classic with goat cheese, but I usually think of it with like the New Zealand styles. But this would be really good with some goat cheese.
Actually, as this warms up a little bit too, I'm getting a little bit more of that low note that we talked about along with that. This actually is actually quite good.
I agree. That's very good.
Very, very good. What hopefully is also very good, I know, amazing tie-in, is our website, AboutBeverages.com. You can definitely go check that out, see everything that we've had to offer for many, many years now, all the way back to podcasts when there was no video. Those are all on there. You can find
audio
those.
Only.
Yeah, definitely audio only. We had one microphone that we shared that hung from a ceiling.
Yes.
That the original several podcasts were like that. That's why there was no video because it just wouldn't have looked right.
There were pictures, but we destroyed them.
We did. We burned them.
Didn't need that evidence.
We burned them right away. If you only want current videos like this one, you're more than welcome to subscribe to us on YouTube. We would appreciate that. That would be super awesome. And iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. If you just want audio, any kind of podcast format, we are probably there. Search for us and find us. If we're not, let us know, and we'll find out why we're not. Because it seems like usually our feed gets pulled everywhere. Even places like we've had a lot of people just walk up to us and be like, "Oh, I found you guys on this." They're like, "We are great, fantastic. I'm glad you found us." So that's all that matters. As long as you are consuming our content, we appreciate that. And I think you've got some pillars to talk about.
The 3 pillars.
The 3 pillars.
3. Facebook, Instagram, which is getting a little more traction.
It is,
more,
and make sure I try and do something.
Yeah, and of course Twitter, which is what we use most often. You'll find us tweeting, especially on Thursday night when we're about to go live on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages, which is when we record our podcasts. We also just get together, we hang out. We have a little something before we start recording podcasts. We talk more than beverages. And we talk, whatever. Join us in chat for the behind the scenes stuff. He'll let you know what he's gaming, or when he's gaming, what he's doing throughout the week, the different raids, all these things that are happening, all these terms I'm learning.
These are all words.
These are words. These are things that mean something.
This means
and
something.
they mean something now to me.
They do a little bit.
Yes, I was a part of that one last week when we stopped.
Oh
recording,
yeah, that's true.
I can't remember who we joined.
Yeah, we went over it. Cool. Yeah, that was very nice. We did that.
And then we always there's always a little dialogue and a little interaction there. So that's kind of fun to see that. It's a really cool community. And like I said, you can join us and be a part of that. And we'll let you know through Twitter and follow us on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages.
But as we always say, whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot.